It was 2019, and I was sharing a glass of wine with my new friend Annette after a lively day of presentations at the Textiles of the Nile Valley Conference in Antwerp. "Gail," she suddenly asked, "tell me, have you done any paintings inspired by textiles from pre-Columbian South America?" In fact, just a few months earlier, I had seen the amazing Golden Kingdoms exhibition at the Metropolitan Museum. And as I tumbled amongst the acrobatic figures in a Paracas textile, I thought how much I wanted the opportunity to paint them. I think what I actually answered was something like, "Funny you should ask, I've just started a new series." But Annette was off, excitedly describing the exhibition she was planning of Mesoamerican textiles. Back in New York, I began writing to archaeologists and art historian friends and friends of friends, and before I knew it, I had a whole network of wonderful guides to this amazing new, to me, world of textiles. I have more experience painting portraits of late antique tapestries from first millennium Egypt. But then I remembered that the great Annie Albers was also fascinated by Mesoamerican textiles. I pulled my well-worn copy of her book on weaving off the studio shelf, and there they were, similar tapestry techniques from Peru and Egypt. The year I entered Yale College, 1976, was the year Joseph Albers died, but his influence could still be felt throughout the school. I remember squinting before one of his homage to the square paintings at the Yale University Art Gallery, trying to understand the optical play of space. When I began my portrait of the Wari tunic from the collection of the German Textile Museum, I was amazed to discover within it what looked like one of Joseph's paintings. If you take a deep dive into the world of ancient weaving, as I have, it is easy to forget that this material remains an underrated gendered medium and devalued as labor-intensive women's work. While some contemporary artists challenge this prejudice through the subversive use of fabric and needlework, I choose to do so by making paintings on canvas of textiles, heroically scaled paintings that remind us that clothing was not always disposable and vivid color was not always easy and cheap. Perhaps all geometry begins with the grid of the loom and the intersection of warp and weft threads. The Wari people told their stories through abstracted human and animal symbols. In my portrait of an ancient Andean textile, the taut geometry has softened, relaxing over time as threads have unraveled. This fabric once communicated complex ideas about society and personal identity, but it has long outlived its makers and its meaning. We who privilege written language over images cannot decipher the message in a Wari cloth. Although I have seen Andean textiles in other museum collections, I know the three subjects for my portraits in this exhibition only through digital images. I've never been to South America, yet I collaborate with the Peruvian archaeologist Romel Angeles Falcón, working from detailed, high-resolution images he has generously shared from Huacamalena. The resulting two paintings, Black Hole and Esquina Decorada, imagine new narratives for these artifacts. From their many trips to Mexico and South America, Ani and Joseph brought back samples of the pre-Columbian art they loved keeping them at hand in a basement cabinet. But the inspiration for my paintings comes via photographs. My iPad is speckled with paint because I zoom in on details of twisted and linked threads. This dissection endears my paintings to textile conservators and art historians, who also journey slowly across the landscape of the fabric that only under the microscope reveals its mesas and huecos, mountains and plateaus. The fragments of weaving I am drawn to show their age, and so are often not the ones selected for museum display. I am aware that what I see is the result of active decisions on the part of archaeologists, dealers, curators, and conservators. The deterioration of the fabric has been arrested, if only temporarily in the greater scheme of time, each thread held in suspended animation. Maybe it's the rock climber in me, maybe it's the former sculptor, but I am more concerned with the haptic than the optic, leaning more towards Ani than Joseph. We touch things to assure ourselves of reality, Ani wrote. We touch the objects of our love. We touch the things we form. Since I cannot handle the ancient textiles, my brush must invent pliability and movement, carving out muscular reality on a two-dimensional plane. These are all paintings about time and the process of decay. Each fragment of textile has a history. I imagine the alpaca whose wool was shorn, the cochineal insect whose body produced the bright red dye, the weavers and the users of the textiles who were buried with them. Color is fugitive. Life is too. The process is only temporarily halted. Without question, these tenacious textiles are worthy subjects of portraiture.